Disclaimer: this video was made to raise awareness about men's stereotypes and does not mean to tackle any social problems or beliefs. If you have any problem viewing these types of content, please click away now. Hello everyone, this is Hio and today I will be talking about a topic that was seemingly neglected by today's society: sexism towards men. I will assume everyone who's watching this video is familiar with sexism, and while you may wonder, men, victim of sexism, you must be out of your mind. Men are the most privileged gender in the human society. Well, my friend, I can assure you that sexism towards men is an existing problem, but it was overlooked or portrayed as a norm. So through this presentation, I hope I may raise awareness about this form of sexism. My presentation will be focusing on the common stereotypes of men, and through my research and life experience, I will attempt to show you how impactful these stereotypes had onto men. And to answer the question, are men victim of sexism? I would say yes. And men stereotypes are why. There are many desirable traits of a man that society deemed him to have. He needs to be charismatic, smart, confident, charming, tall, generally fit. He's also required to be financially independent, own a house, a car, have a proper job. Many would want him to know how to play an instrument, be able to sing, have a great sense of humor, compassionate about his family and his relationships, etc., etc. Well, ever since boyhood, boys were told not to cry, because it makes him look bad, weak in front of others of his peers. This worked even better with boys who play sport or practice in any form of martial arts. When the boys got hurt or injured, if he did not cry and able to pull himself together despite the agonizing pain, others will see him as a strong boy with a powerful will. He will have the admiration from the other boys, amazement and relief from his coach or trainer, and maybe even adoration from the girls who witness his performance. All of this reinforced the reason why the boys are not allowed to cry. And take this quote from a once very famous professional wrestler, Ric Flair. If you're a man, you don't cry about it. You take life, the ups and downs, and if you're a real man, you don't cry. If you're a real man, you never go down, you just stay up. In my interpretation, men don't cry about their problems, but take it all in and keep it to himself. And to become a real man, he needs to be constantly working towards achieving something and to be successful. However, it's easier said than done. In many Asian families where boys are more favored than girls, many families often try to give birth to a boy. This creates a great gender imbalance towards male, and as a result, the male population have to compete very aggressively against each other ever since they went to school. Now, I'm not saying that women don't have to compete in their life or they have their life more easily than everyone else. But in a fight for a job in an office, the male position often have more competitors than the female counterparts. Throughout my life as an Asian male, I was raised in a well-educated family. I see the male holds a lot of responsibility in the family. He is the head of the family and deemed to be the main source of income for the family. He is also the protector of the family and also have to take care of his elders. Not only that, but his role is very important in family events like weddings or funerals. His every behaviors and actions are judged strictly by those around him, and even strangers. Well, these may seem like trivial roles and actions for males in general, but they held a very important position in order to find a mate. If a man failed to meet the requirements, like I mentioned in the male stereotype parts, and what I just mentioned now, um, that male would be deemed to be unworthy of attention from other females, unless the male appeared to have future potentials. And this put great pressure on the male population to have to do part-time jobs, work overtime, and basically put their health on the line just to save up and prepare for the future. I cannot stress this enough, but if you have ever lived in some Asian countries like Japan, South Korea, China, Singapore, or Vietnam, the demands for the labor market is getting harder and harder every single day. Specifically in Vietnam, university graduates can hardly find a job in an office, and even if they do, those jobs are underpaid and can't barely pay for rent. In China, their population are suffering with strict labor policies, and to minimize their spending, many city folk literally have to live in cages. This was meant to say that life is truly hard in many ways, and in order to meet the requirements mentioned from the beginning, men were made to put up with the pressure, and those who fail will end up in poverty and likely to become suicidal. Throughout my life, I have seen the perspective of people viewing me changes as I get older. The older I get, the more people starting to care about my accomplishments that rather than who I am. This superficial method of viewing a person had taken its toll on many of my older relatives. My fathers, my uncles, and my brothers were all affected by how people view them. This made them feel frustrated, pressured, and they often turned toxic against their own kin. To vent their frustration, they turn they turn to verbal insult, bad behavior, angry, and when the other member may fail to maintain a calm conversation with them, a fight is almost inevitable. Their relationship with the family becomes severely damaged, and over time, they became aware of the consequences of their action on their family and they turn silent, keeping all the pressure to themselves, isolate themselves away from others. This will lead to depression, sleeping disorder, eating disorder, and many diseases that follow to and can be significantly damaging. Honestly, I doubt this problem will ever be properly addressed and dealt with anytime soon, but I believe there is a solution out there waiting to be discovered. But for the time being, a mutual understanding and respect between all genders and age group should help taking our first step in unraveling this bleak certain curtain of a future we have. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and please give a thumbs up if you like it and share this video to help spread the word about this problem.